welcome back to your Pilates mat workout with me, Chris. Today we have a prenatal friendly workout with a focus on our lower body. I threw in a little bit of core and upper body, but our main focus is going to be our glutes and our legs. So the only prep you're going to need for this workout here is your mat. So once you have that ready, we can get started. So we're just going to start by sitting down on our mat in whatever position feels comfortable for you. And from there, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Our rib cage is stacked over our pelvis. Our crown of our head is reaching towards the ceiling. Really important to work on some deep breathing, especially during pregnancy, as your growing baby will start to push everything up, potentially leading into a shallow breathing pattern. So working on some deep breathing will really help to bring extra oxygen flow for you and your baby. So let's get started just with our hands around our rib cage here. Take a nice inhale, breathe into the ribs, breathe into your lungs nice and fully, and then exhale out all the old air out of your lungs. Inhale here, really fully breathing into the ribs, expanding the ribs, fully and completely. And exhale out all the old air out of your lungs. Inhale, give me that 360-degree breath, breathing into all sides of the ribs. Now, as you exhale, gently lift the pelvic floor, bringing that point just a few inches below your belly button, in and up. And now, as you inhale, think about really relaxing the pelvic floor, expanding the rib cage. Nice full inhalation, and then now exhale. Lift the pelvic floor nice and gently, lifting that point just a few inches below your belly button, in and up, sitting up tall. And then inhale. Really breathe into your pelvic floor, just relaxing your pelvic floor. And then exhale here, gently lifting the pelvic floor, bringing that point below your belly button, in and up. And last one here, nice full inhale, expanding the ribs, and exhale, engaging the pelvic floor and those low abs. Beautiful. Now we're going to start just in a 4-point kneeling position on our mat here. We'll have our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath your hips for a nice cat-cow. Let's take an inhale. We're just going to drop the belly, look up towards the sky. Feel that nice extension in your back, opening up the chest. And then as we exhale, we're going to round the spine here. Look towards your belly button, hug your baby here. As you inhale, drop the chest, look up. Nice open chest here. And as you exhale, round the spine. Think about spreading the shoulder blades away from each other. Inhale, dropping the belly. Maybe letting the shoulder blades come in together. Lifting the tailbone. And exhale, around the spine here. Look towards the belly. Just mobilizing the spine here. Maybe move from left to right if that feels good for you. And from here, we're just going to get started with our core work. So from here, you're going to press your hands into the mat. Tuck your toes underneath. As you engage the abs, gently hug your baby towards your belly. And you're going to lift the knees slightly off the mat here, making sure that there's no pressure out on your abdominals and no doming of your belly here. Just take a quick hold. If you start to feel some doming, just hold your tabletop here. Think about hugging your baby into your spine, engaging the core here. Just hold for a few more seconds. Think about wrapping the shoulder blades around the rib cage, pressing the mat away. We'll come down in 3, 2, and 1. And quick reset here. And we're going to go right back into it in 3, 2, and 1. Lifting the knees off the mat. Hold it here, hugging your baby in, just like that. Just warming up the core. And now let's walk the legs out and then slowly walk it in. Really important that you're maintaining pressure in your abs here. You don't want to feel any doming or pressure out of your abs here. If so, you can always just give me a modified plank, holding it here and then walking the knees back and then walking the knees right back under your hips. Let's just do this for a few more reps here. Wrapping your shoulder blades around your rib cage. Try not to let the shoulder blades collapse into each other. Let's do 2 and 1. And then you can take the knees down. Quick reset. Maybe roll out the wrists if you need. Take a nice deep breath. And let's retuck our toes, lifting the knees off. Here we go. Take your inhale, exhale, hug the baby in, and then lift the knees off. Just hold it here. Now we're gonna get tiny dips of the knees down. Just tiny down, tiny lift. Tiny down, tiny lift. Try to keep your head and neck in line with your spine. Press your armpits down towards your hips so that your shoulders aren't hiking up to your ears. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. And then you can take a nice rest. Some quick core work to warm up our abs. And now we can get into our legs. So for our legs, we're getting right back into our 4-point kneeling position. We're just going to extend one leg straight back. This is going to be our working leg here. You want your rib cage and pelvis facing down towards the floor here. And we're going to flex our foot and keeping everything still from the crown of our head to our hips, nice and still as we lift our back leg up and down, lifting the leg up and down, just like that. And as you lift the leg up, try not to lift the leg higher than your hip here. It's really easy to lift the leg and arch the low back like that. You want to keep your low back nice and flat here. So maintaining your core engagement with your ribs is cinching down to your hips. Really focusing on working our glute and not our low back here. So our low back stays completely still as we just move from the hip, bringing the leg straight back, keeping both hip bones facing down towards the floor. Taking nice deep breaths here. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Now, let's take the knee in towards the side and then kick it right back out. Bring the knee in and kick it straight back, just like that. Taking nice deep breath. If you start to feel this in your leg, in your glute, in the opposite leg, don't worry, you're still doing it right. Your opposite leg is working hard to keep you nice and stable in this position. So you might be feeling it in the other leg too. Option to add on a kick. As you bring your leg out to the side, kick the leg out, and then bring it right back in. Just like that, making sure to keep your spine nice and neutral. So during this movement, your spine isn't moving, your upper body isn't moving. All the movements coming into the legs. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now have the leg straight back here. And you're going to just bring the leg out to the side and then cross it over to the other side here. So bring it out to the side, just little windshield wipers to the left and then to the right. Just like that. Whew. And try not to collapse your chest down towards the floor, really pressing the floor away. Trying to keep your head and neck in line with your spine. Let's do 4. Hugging your baby in 3, 2, and 1. And now we're just going to keep the knee bent, flex the foot, and bring the leg straight up towards the ceiling and back down and up and down. And try not to take the knee higher than your hip here. You don't want any movement in your low back, keeping your low back completely still. So if you were to put a cup on your low back, nothing would spill here. It stays completely still. 4, 4. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. Little presses up. Here we go. Little press and press. Up and up. Here we go. Whew. Burn it out. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. And then now we're just going to take the leg down next to the other knee, and we're going to get into fire hydrant. So just taking the leg out and back down, out and down. This is your last exercise here in our 4-point kneeling position, and then we can come down on the mat. 4, 4, 3, stay engaged, 2, and 1. Amazing job. And let's just come on to the side of our mat with our elbow down here. And you're going to have your shoulder underneath your elbow and your hips in line with your shoulder here. You want your rib cage closed. And you want to try to be in one long line here. If that doesn't work for you, you can always put your legs a little bit more at an angle in front of you for extra support. And from there, we're just going to get into side lying leg lifts. Really make sure you're lifting your rib cage off, not just staying collapsed here. Really lifting the ribs off. Try to have this part of your shoulder nice and flat. And from there, let's get started. You're just going to lift the top leg up and lower it down. Take that lift and lower. Obliques are nice and engaged. Rib cage is close. Take your lift and lower. Lift and lower, just like that. Whew. Keeping our nice long spine. Let's do 3. Leg circles next. 2. Staying engaged underneath that rib cage. And 1. Hold it up and just give me tiny circles, just either direction here. And nothing moves from your crown of your head to your hips here. Really trying to work hard to keep your upper body still. Head and neck is in line with your spine. And then other direction. Really working hard to keep that underside of your rib cage engaged. If this ever gets too much, you can always lower it down onto your mat here, but just to make sure to stay engaged as well, lifting off your bottom waist from the mat. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Now we're going to take our top leg, keep it straight, and it's just going to go forward and then back. I like to flex my foot as I bring it forward, point the toe to bring it back. Flex to bring it forward, point to bring it back, just like that. Trying to keep the foot in line with your hip the whole time if you can. Whew. Just like that. Staying engaged with that underside. Let's do 2. Beautiful. And 1. Whew. And let's take the knees together. Bring the knees just slightly in front of you here. And we're just going to lift the top leg up and lower it down. Take that lift and lower, lift and lower, just like that. 4, 4, belly button to spine. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. And we're just going to do little circles. Whew. Either direction to start. Yes, really feeling it in that side glute here. We reverse in 3, 2, and 1, and reverse it here. Whew. You feel your side glute burning? Whew. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Quick reset. And then let's take our toe to toe here, and then knee to knee. Toe to toe, and then knee to knee. And then you can lift the bottom leg up slightly, just like that. Awesome job. Keep going. This is our last leg exercise for this side lying series. So you got it. Keep going. Just a few more. 4, whew, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Now we can come to a seated position, and we're going to get into some different variations of a reverse plank. Let's start with our hands behind us underneath our shoulders. Your knees are bent and your feet are in front of your knees here. And from there, you're going to work by really engaging your back muscles, your lower traps, really pushing your shoulder blades down towards your hips as you lift your hips off the mat here. Just taking that nice hold, belly button to spine, just holding for now. You want your elbows pointing behind you, really trying to think about length, keeping that length between your shoulders and your ears here. Nice hold. Now we're going to start by lifting the hips up and lowering the hips down. Lifting the hips up and lowering the hips down, just like that. We're working our glutes here as well as our upper body. Our upper body is working so hard to keep us in this lifted position as our hips go up and down. Keep a nice bend, soft bend in your elbows. Try not to hyperextend. You have 3. Quick reset after this. 2, and 1. An awesome job. Maybe shake out your wrists if you need to. Whew. Take nice deep breaths. And then we'll get right back to it. So starting with your hands underneath your shoulders, feet out in front. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, we're going to lift the hips up here. We were just working our left leg. Make sure you take a note of whichever leg you were working. Keep that foot down on the mat. Take the opposite leg straight out, just like that. And you're going to lift the hips up and lower the hips down. This can get pretty intense pretty fast with that single leg. So if you ever need, you can always lower both legs down. Bring your belly button to spine. Our upper body is completely engaged here. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down for a quick reset. Whew. Those are tough. So we're done with the first side of our leg, moving on to the opposite side here. So getting on to some marching, getting right back into the same position, lifting the hips up. You're going to lift one leg straight up, bring it down, and other leg comes up. Keeping the knees bent, just alternating here. Really working hard to press your shoulder blades down towards the floor. Try not to have them hike up towards the ears. Let's do 3, 2, and 1, and then quick reset. Now moving on to our other leg. So we're gonna keep the leg that we haven't worked on yet down on towards the mat. As we lift the hips up, opposite leg extends straight out, and we're gonna lower the hips down and lift the hips up. The movement here is just a hinge in your hips. Remember, this can get pretty intense, especially in that hamstring. So if you start to feel your hamstring cramp up, just try to have both feet come down. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. An awesome job. We are done with that reverse plank series. Now let's get into our 4-point kneeling position series with our legs. So we're going to start with our hands underneath our hips. Sorry, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And you're going to take your leg straight out, working on the second side here, flexing the foot, upper body stays completely still, hugging your baby in and up, and just lifting the leg up and down, up and down, just like that, having both hip bones facing down towards the floor. Shoulders are squared down towards the floor as well. Whew. Try to think of gliding your shoulder blades away from each other, gliding them around your rib cage so we aren't sinking down here. Staying nice and active in our lower body. Trying our best to keep our hips even. Let's do 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then now from here, we're just going to bring our leg out to the side and then straight back. Bring it out to the side and straight back, just like that. Still working hard to keep our shoulders and hips facing down towards the floor. Now, option to kick your leg straight out and bring it back in. Whew. Just like that. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now have your back leg nice and straight. And we're just going to windshield wiper it out to the side and then back to the opposite side. So windshield wiper to the right and then to the left. Keeping the neck nice and long. Gently pressing your armpits towards your hips to get your shoulders out of your ears. Keeping your neck nice and long. Obliques are working here. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now let's keep our knee bent and full range here. You're just going to flex the foot, kick the foot up toward the ceiling, and lower back down. Kick the leg straight up and lower it down. Still pushing the mat away from you. Nice, long neutral spine. Whew. No movement in the low back. Your core is working so hard to keep a nice, still stable spine, nice, still stable low back as you lift and lower the back leg. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it back. Tiny lift up. Tiny lift and lift. Up and up. Whew. I'm sweating. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then last variation here. Keep the knee bent. Take it out to the side and bring it back in. Out to the side and in. This is our last variation for that 4-point kneeling position. And we have our side laying series coming up in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And now we can come off our wrist. Let's take our elbow down onto the mat, just underneath our shoulder. And you want your hips in a line. You can either be in one long line from your elbow to your knees, or for a little bit more support, you can have your legs slightly out in front. Really make sure you're staying active in your obliques, lifting your bottom rib cage up. And from there, we can get into our side lying series. We're just gonna lift our top leg up and down, up and down. And if you want some extra support, you can always take your hand down onto the mat here. Nice lift and lower. Staying engaged on that underside, up and down. Awesome job. We're toning the inner and outer thighs here. Whew. Feels so good. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it about hip height, and then just tiny circles either direction to start. Making sure nothing moves here, especially from the shoulders down towards the hips. Your torso stays completely still. Belly button to spine, and then let's reverse it here. Whew. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the leg down here, and we're going to lift the top leg back up. Keep it straight, and we're just going to bring the leg straight and then point it back. Flex the leg to bring it in front of you, point the leg to bring it back. Flex the foot, bring it in front of you, point the leg to bring it back. Really easy to overcompensate and start arching the low back, rounding the spine, but we don't want that at all. We want our spine nice, long, and neutral, and all the movement is coming from the hip. Don't forget that lift of your rib cage. Whew. Trying to keep your foot at the right in line with the hip. For 3, 2, and 1. And now let's bend the knees here. And we're just gonna lift the top leg up and lower it down. Take that lift and lower. Whew. Side glute is starting to really fire up here. So good. Working on our gluteus medius. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up and tiny circles. Whew. It's burning either direction here. Or you can make those circles a little bit wider. Just make sure everything stays still. Just moving from the hip socket. And then let's reverse it here. Remember, you can always come down onto the mat if your rib cage here starts to fatigue. Let's do 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to get into our knee and toe taps. This is our last variation, and you guys are all done with your work. You got it. Here we go. We're going to take knee to knee, and then toe to toe. Knee to knee and toe to toe. You can lift your bottom foot up just like that. Whew. Stay engaged underneath your waist here. Shoulder down away from the ears. Nice long neck. Almost done. Feel that shake. Feel that burn. Yes, you can. You have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. And you are all done with your work. We're just going to do a quick stretch here. Right back to our cat-cow. Right back to where we started. So take that nice inhale. Drop the belly. Look up towards the sky here. Really opening up the chest. And then exhale, round the spine. Look down towards your navel. Inhale, drop the belly. Look up towards the sky. And exhale, round the spine. Really try to round that part of your spine, especially if you're pregnant. That starts to pull forward. Find that nice round. Bring mobility back into that part of your spine. And then inhale. Dropping the belly, looking up. And exhale, rounding it out here. And then we'll get into a thread the needle. So we're just going to take, keeping our knees down, take one arm up to the sky. And then drop the shoulder down, threading your hand underneath the opposite shoulder, just lowering all the way down here. And then inhale here, reach back up. Find that rotation in your torso here, keeping the hips facing down the floor. And then exhale here. Last one, inhale. Lift it up. And exhale. Working on our thoracic rotation, which is really great to keep your spine nice and mobile during pregnancy. And opposite side. Inhale here. Reach the hand up. And then exhale. Thread the hand underneath the shoulder. And inhale here. Rotating from your torso. And then exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale here. Whew. And you guys are all done. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you liked it, don't forget to give me a like. And I hope I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.